Many people in the world drink coffee. Some drink it in the morning to keep them awake for work or school. Some drink it in the evening just because they like the taste of it. But a lot of people don't know where coffee came from. It is very debated out there in the world what coffee's origins are. The most accepted theory is that it came from a farmer in 1671. It came about when he was watching his flock of goat, and they were eating from this plant that had berries. Once eating these berries, they became energized and were full of energy. So he decided he would try it himself and see if it worked on him, which it did. Eventually they got into roasting coffee and putting it into grounds, which is the coffee that we drink today. Another thing most people don't know is where the word coffee came from. It's a Dutch word from the word coffee, but it's spelled Koffie, but pronounced the same way. An interesting fact about coffee is that 400 million cups are drank daily in America. And if you think about that, around the world, it's probably millions and millions more than that, which is a really interesting fact. Coffee is made from a plant, and this plant produces berries, and they're red type berries. Once these berries dry, they become prime for roasting. And once they're roasted, they can either be put into a coffee machine that can make coffee out of roasted beans, or you crush them up into coffee grounds, which is what most people do. Once you get these coffee grounds, you put them into a filter, which runs hot water over it, and it makes the pot of coffee that you drink in the morning before work. There are also unconventional uses of coffee. One of these is to reduce cellulite. The caffeine in the coffee helps to reduce cellulite on your legs, on your arms, on your face, or wherever you may have it. So beauty specialists tend to use that today. Another idea for using coffee is in compost. When you take used coffee grounds and put them in soil, gardeners swear that it helps to produce better plants and produce a better harvest. One thing that women might appeal to is that coffee can help shine your hair. If you would like to give a nice sheen to your hair, you take used coffee grounds and moisturize them inside of your hair, and when you dry it off and blow dry it, or after you're done doing your daily routine, you'll have shiny hair. Another beauty style tip to do with coffee has to do with dyeing. You can dye your hair with coffee. It would give you a brown look, or you can dye pots or plates or whatever you desire to dye, and it will all be dyed naturally. The last unconventional use it has is to repel ants and fleas. If you put used coffee grounds wherever you're seeing ants or fleas, they will no longer come to that place. Another thing it said to do was, if you find a whole bunch of them, to just pour a cup of coffee all over them, which will surely at least drown them, if anything. There are also medical uses for coffee. Mike Downey says that individuals who consume more than 3 cups of coffee daily had a 40% lower chance of getting oral, pharyngeal, or esophageal cancers, which I found very, very interesting, because when you think of coffee and you hear about coffee, they always tell you about the risks and the bad things about coffee, but it can actually help you. Another thing going to the benefits of coffee is from the Harvard Health Letter. They say that among older adults, those who drank coffee had a lower risk of dying from diabetes, heart disease, respiratory disease, and other medical complications. But, of course, with benefits, there's always downsides. One of these downsides is written by Edward Nessel. He says that when several cups of coffee are consumed daily, unpleasant effects occur, such as coronary palpitations, psychic hyperactivity because of the caffeine, gastrointestinal difficulties, and or sleep disturbances. If you've ever drank coffee right before bed, you'll know the sleep disturbances. It's hard to get to sleep because the caffeine is pumping through you and it doesn't want you to stay asleep, it wants you to be awake. So I thought those were very interesting. So the next time you drink coffee, you can think about these things, such as, hey, I feel like dyeing my hair today. I'm going to use my leftover coffee grounds to dye my hair. So Coffee is conventional and unconventional in many ways, and millions of people drink it, and millions of people will continue drinking it until the end of time.